All right, if you're at an airport, you have a flight today, you already know how challenging things have been. Thankfully, though, air travel is just starting to return to normal after what's been a really chaotic morning all across the country.
The Federal Aviation Administration ordered a full ground stop when one of its computer systems failed. Thousands of passengers were left in limbo as they waited for the FAA to resolve the issue. This is so rare that our Peter Greenberg reports the last time that there was a similar nationwide ground stop was in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks.
The FAA and the Department of Transportation have launched investigations into what went wrong yesterday leading into today. CBS News correspondent Michael George has more.
The dreaded delayed sign greeted travelers as they arrived at airports across the country Wednesday morning after the FAA ordered all departing flights grounded for several hours following an outage of one of its computer systems.
This morning when we woke up, we heard the news, so we thought we're just going to rent a car and not fly.
The agency says the problem was an outage to its Notice to Air Mission System, or NOTAMs. It provides safety information to pilots. President Biden says he was briefed on the situation by Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
I just spoke with Buttigieg. They don't know what the cause is.
President responded, "We don't know," when asked about the possibility of a cyber attack, though the White House earlier said there's no evidence of a cyber attack. While the ground stop has been lifted, there's still a ripple effect that could last throughout the day as things slowly return to normal. Thousands of flights have been delayed and hundreds canceled.
We're going to be optimistic, but, hopefully they get everything up and running.
We've been delayed 3 times.
Tamara Williams is trying to get to Miami for a connecting flight to Costa Rica.
There are no more flights leaving today that would get us there on time, nor tomorrow, nor Friday.
This is the latest headache for U.S. travelers following flight cancellations over the holidays because of winter storms and a massive Southwest Airlines service disruption. Michael George, CBS News, LaGuardia Airport, New York.
Robert Sumwalt joins us now to talk about all of this. He is CBS News transportation and security analyst and the executive director at the Center for Aviation and Aerospace Safety, also former chairman of the NTSB. Bob, welcome. It's always a good time to chat with you. I remember from my time on the transportation beat because he knows his stuff. He's connected. And if I'm a passenger flying today on a delayed flight, I'm furious. How does this happen? Tell us about this system that led to a nationwide ground stoppage and how confident we should all be that this won't happen again.
Well, Aaron, good to see you. Lana, good to see you. I think the cause of it will ultimately be decided by the FAA. There may be other investigations as well. I think the comforting factor is that the airplanes were grounded. They weren't able to take off. It's not comforting for travelers, but from a safety perspective, that would mitigate any potential safety issue there.
Well, what steps are officials taking at this point to investigate this issue? And as we just heard our colleague Michael George report, the White House says they don't know the cause. So how do they know that it isn't malicious?
Yeah.
Well, I think ultimately they'll get to the bottom of that, and I don't think it will take too terribly long to figure out exactly what happened there. The main thing is, again, from a safety perspective, airplanes were not able to take off, and I think that's the main thing right there is just making sure that the system of our airspace remains intact from a safety point of view. We have a very good air traffic control system. We have a very good air traffic system in this nation. But when we have situations like this, it shows us that we do have vulnerabilities and that the system is built on many checks and balances. And if some of those don't fall into place, then the air traffic does not move smoothly.
And this is the NOTAMs system, Notice to Air Mission, formerly Notice to Airmen, that failed to work. There was also an issue just within the past few weeks in Florida that led to a ground stoppage there. It's good to know that there are backups. The one question we haven't received an answer to this morning is how old this system is. So give us some insight into that, and then tell us what you think could be done to better fortify the system that would avoid these delays so many folks are dealing with today.
Yeah, I think the main thing is the FAA did the right thing by putting the ground stop in place to make sure that safety was not impacted. As far as the technology, the FAA is constantly updating their system. They've had in place a system for years, a program for years called Next Gen, the Next Generation Air Traffic Control System,
Right.
modernization. All that's coming along, but it does take time to make sure that we get it in place and it's done properly.
Robert Sumwalt, really appreciate your insight into all this. Thanks.
Thank you, Bob.
Great to see you both. Thank you.